Na hát, helyhó srácok, lányok, sziasztok! Csapó 2, Microsoftos, Xboxos második felvonás, és ha jól nézzük, akkor a Coming Up feliratokból itt eléggé ilyen háttérinfók lesznek majd azokból a játékokból, amiket vasárnap este már megnézhettünk az első Xboxos Bethesdás konferenciásos bemutatón. Úgyhogy let's go! Nézzük meg most, mi az, ami még ránk vár. 18-as karikákok, sok nemzetnél.
Hey, we are a small snippet of Squanch Games, and we are here to tell you how excited we are to be a part of the Microsoft Games Show Extended.
Game Showcase Extended.
You know, Game Showcase Extended. What's the need for the extended? Why add that
Miért
word?
rázza a kamerát
Like, is there one that's not extended?
az operatőr?
And that's why?
We're getting nods. There is a not extended one. Okay.
And that one's just called without the extended.
So that's just called
There's the normal
Ez engem
one.
idegesít.
I know what this is.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, we're happy to be a part of it nonetheless.
Ez miért volt ilyen cringe? Mit mondtak ők? Kik voltak? Hallottam, de esküszöm, hogy elvonta a figyelmemet a kamerarázás, és nem emlékszem, hogy melyik csapat. Nem volt cringe, mi vagyunk a boomerek hozzá? Hát jó. Elfogadom a véleményedet, Milu. Majd ezt a YouTube-osoknak mondom, akik ott nézik vissza. Túl vagyunk egy 55 percnyi Assassin's Creed-es Celebration-nek hívták, de hát úgyhogy lehet, hogy most ilyen kicsit szarkasztikusan fogok hozzáállni ezekhez a dolgokhoz is. Majd meglátjuk, hogy mire leszek képes. A vasárnapi bemutató az tetszett, és hát most, hogyha kicsit a kulisszák mögé látunk azokkal a játékokkal kapcsolatban, amiket ott mutogattak, az előre láthatólag faszaság lesz, de hát nyilván nyugtával dicsérjük a navot, ahogy a könyvelők is szokták. Egy felest? Nem kérek, köszönöm szépen. Ez az intro, azt hiszem fent van külön is YouTube-on.
This is Malik, and we have the honor of diving deeper into some of the most exciting and talked about announcements, as well as gameplay from the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase just 2 days ago. For the first time ever, the entire showcase was focused on games you can play over the next 12 months.
That's right, Aaron.
Igen, ezt nagyon helyesen tették.
Gameplay from Redfall and Starfield, and today we've got Bethesda's own Pete Hines right here to tell us more. You'll hear from the renowned developers behind the brand new Xbox franchise, Our History Untold. Dive into Naraka Blade Point with our partners at NetEase Games, and so much more.
But first, we begin with a special look at how our fans got to celebrate the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase with a message from our very own Phil Spencer.
Én most otthonról? Megint otthonról jelentkezik? Azt hittem. Phil bácsi.
I love coming to events like this. You can just feel the energy, people loving to come together as a community, their love of video games, the Xbox fans. Just a really special time for everybody.
Vágjátok, a Covid alatt mindenki az ő polcát fürkészte, hogy mi az, ami újdonság látható nála, és lehet róla következtetni, hogy mi fog történni az Xbox dolgokkal.
I love hearing from people. What did you like in the show? Those conversations with people that are here about areas that they like and areas they wish we would do more. I think that's something that drives us. You saw it in the show today. People said we want to see more gameplay, and so we said, okay, great.
Hogy is hívják, kos kontroller van a pólóján. A Pride hónapos kontroller.
There's some franchises, Japanese franchises, don't always come to Xbox. We've been working on that. Today we obviously had Persona.
It's important to us. We not only have all the games coming from our internal studios, but also great independent game developers that we work with around the world. So could not be more excited for what we're doing with Kojima.
And he's got this really great idea.
Kihangsúlyozták, hogy independent, független stúdió Kojimával kapcsolatban is.
And I'm just really proud to be in an industry that can be part of so many people coming together.
Konzol launch exkluzív. Mégis lesznek itt most bemutatók? De hát... Ez a Valheim. Wait. Akkor lehet, hogy utána valamikor PlayStation-re is megérkezhet? Mert az bizony nagyon frankó lenne. Én azt hittem, hogy ez forever PC exkluzív lesz. Ez nagyon-nagyon nagy fokje. Early Spring. Nice. Nice. Hát Microsoftnál gyakorlatilag a jóisten pénze is ott van.
Bethesda opened the showcase with a dramatic gameplay demo for Redfall and closed it with Todd Howard showing us how deep the rabbit hole goes on Starfield. And we also got a sneak peek at upcoming expansions for Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76. Here to break it all down for us is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Pete Hines from Bethesda. Pete, how are you?
Servus, Pete.
Good to see you as well. So about a month ago, you all announced some delays for both Redfall and Starfield. So I wanted to give you a chance to tell us a little bit about the decision-making process for that.
Absolutely. Look, with all the time that goes into a game, it would be foolish to rush it out the door before it's ready. I think we
Jó, de ezeket már elmondták, illetve rágrafikázták arra a JPG-re, ami a Twitterre kiment.
Obviously, the last 2 years have really challenged us from a development standpoint. How we work now.
A Redfallra nagyon csorog a nyálam egyébként.
While a lot of our folks are not back in the office, and that has an impact. I also think we've been thinking about things like release dates and when do we give those out, and how do we make sure we give one out that we actually hit and don't.
Vicces, de a Starfield nem azt mondom, hogy hidegen hagy, de hogy úgy olyan semlegesen állok hozzá abszolút. Bezzeg a Redfall.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's all about, right? Like delivering an amazing experience for the players out there. And so, speaking of games, we're just going to jump into it. We're going to start with how the showcase started with Redfall. Now, before we even get into the game, Arcane's making the game, and I want you to talk a little bit about the pedigree of Arcane, just in case people don't know.
Sure.
These folks over there, they're doing their thing.
Arcane Studios is known for really amazing, immersive sims. They do any number of things. If you play games of theirs, Dishonored 2, Prey, there's a lot of common threads you'll find in them. They create really amazing, believable worlds. I think that's a big part of their game is when you're in Dunwall or you're up on a space station in Prey, that it feels believable. There's a reason why things are the way they are. They're also a big believers in systems-based as opposed to scripted. So they really embrace player freedom and sort of giving players the tools to decide.
Ezeket nem kockáztam ki, hogy milyen fejlesztések, fegyverek meg ilyesmi lesz a Redfallban. Akartam, de elfeledkeztem róla. Mert az még egy érdekes dolog lehet. Ja, ez a kutyarobot annyira cuki.
How similar or dissimilar would you say this game, Redfall, is from the other arcade?
I mean, look, on the surface, it's a first-person shooter that you can play solo or with, up to 4 players, and so immediately you might say, well, it's not a single-player game, so it must
Up to 4 players, ez nagyon vonzó egyébként.
There's absolutely ways in which it is different, but I think when folks play the game, and even when they see more of the game, I think they'll start to see all of those.
Arra lennék kíváncsi, mert az nem rémlik, hogy mondták-e a Redfallról, hogy PC meg Xbox között lesz-e úgymond crossplay.
You can absolutely do that in Redfall, but you can also do things that you haven't been able to do in an
Mondjuk most ugyanazokat a képsorokat mutogatják, amiket vasárnap.
Sort of how the whole can become greater than the sum of the parts, like playing it off of each character's abilities. You saw some of that in the demo that we showed. I think the more that people appreciate that, you almost are going to want to try and play Redfall a couple of different ways. You might want to play it by yourself a little bit, play it with others, and it's a game that allows you to do either or both of those things, however you see fit.
I'm glad you talked about playing with friends, because I'm taking applications for friends to help me get through Redfall.
Can I put my name on that list? I'm down to a little.
It'd be an honor.
Ez egy kicsit cringe. Már megint.
I'm excited. I can't wait for that. And so let's talk a little bit more about the game. Now, between the trailer that we saw last year at the reveal, as well as this one that we just saw, I feel like Redfall reminded players of other co-op shooters, like Left 4 Dead, for example. What makes Redfall unique?
Again, it's one of those things, like if you watch just like combat footage, you might look at
Azt mondtátok, hogy Back 4 Blood-os.
Or any of these things and go, oh, I see multiple characters facing a bunch of enemies, and like
És nem,
the same game. But I think that would be doing a disservice, that it's
nem éreztem annyira ezt a párhuzamot. Bocs.
Itself, sort of combining different skills and abilities in the way that you do, Layla dropping down an elevator using her powers that Jacob can use to get up top on a roof and provide cover. You have different characters who play roles really well, how you choose to use Brebone, the robot, all of those things come into, again, allowing the players not to say, here's a set of rules and you can only use, like, no, here's just some stuff that you can go off into this amazing sort of dynamic, ever-changing world and sort of experience and explore for yourself. And you come back the next day and it'll look and feel like a different experience, even though you're in the exact same part of the game. I mean, I think those are the kinds of things that Arcane does.
Ami nekem még kérdőjeles, hogy az egész kampányt le lehet közösen tolni, és kibeugorhat a host mellé a másik 3 játékos, vagy a másik 3, hogyha, mit tudom én, ott marad az egyik. Esó. Szóval, ha ott marad az egyik, akkor folytathatja-e onnan, vagy hogy fog ez működni vajon? Idézőjelben mondom, hogy jó példa erre, hogy miért kérdezem, a Far Cry-ok, az 5-ös meg a 6-os, meg a New Dawn, mert hogy ott csak a hostnak a progresszét menti, aki joinolt a hostra, őt nem. Ez az esó még mindig nagyon csúnya szerintem.
Jump in and play by yourself and experience it by yourself, even though it's an MMO. But the real special sauce of Elder Scrolls Online is our amazing community. They're so welcoming. They're so helpful. If you need a little bit of help, if you need a lot of help, they're there for you to help explain, to make sure you have a fun experience. And honestly, like, that is such a huge part for an online game of creating an environment where anybody, no matter whether you just started playing or you've been playing for 8 years, can have a good experience, no matter how you decide to engage with it.
I love that you mentioned that. Community is as you mentioned, is such a huge part of any online game. And so for players who may not have played Elder Scrolls, who are, like you said,
Vét egy játék, ami nem toxik játékos bázissal bír. Ez igaz lehet? Én azt hittem, ezek csak legendák, hogy ilyen létezik.
At this point, right? We're talking about it. All right. So this has to mean something super special to the team.
Absolutely. And look, we are as aware of anybody. Like, this franchise did not start with Bethesda. It's one that we took on along the way, and our intent is not just to pay homage to like Bethesda Fallout? Like, no, we mean all Fallout, because what this series has done, what it meant to us as players when we went and played those games, played the original Fallout, Fallout 2, and then what the franchise has become, and sort of growing and finding an even, you know, a new audience with Fallout 3,
Forti se toxic, csak én mondom.
Fallout 76 is something we really want to celebrate, and honestly,
Amikor valamelyik nap a múltkor nézegettük a Lockeremet Fortikában. Emlékszel arra, Vanda? Emlékszel arra, és Idri mondta azt, hogy láttam, az összes toxic emót megvan. Hát meg, de nem azért, mert... Szóval, érted. We want to give the fans more of what they want and the kind of experiences that they want, and where Fallout 76 PvP-ztem a Destiny-ben? Nem sokat, mert nem az a lényegi része számomra annak a csodálatos játéknak.
That 76 community, again, not just in the game, but what they do for each other, to support other folks in the community, what they have done to raise funds for worthwhile causes. Like, it's not just an amazing group of gamers, it's an amazing group of human beings.
De ti még nagyon az elején tartotok a Fortikának, Milu. Én meg a Destiny-nek, úgyhogy szerintem felesleges újjal mutogatnunk a másik játékra, mert ha megcsömör lesz, akkor teljesen mindegy lesz, hogy mi történik utána. Ez rosszabb lesz? A Fortnite-ban? Idővel szerintem mindenképpen. Miért lóg rá a chat az OBS-re? Na most. Megcsömör lesz. Igen.
Ultimately, what those games are massive sandboxes where they give players just ridiculous amounts of freedom to say, you go figure out.
Ridiculous amount of freedom, azt mondta a bácsi. És hogyha kell újabb 18 hónap, hogy az összes bugot kijavítsátok, mint minden Bethesda játéknál. Vagy az ilyenekről hallgatunk?
Yeah, but you don't have to. Like, it's entirely up to you to figure out what is fun for me. Do I want story? Do I want to join factions? Do I want to, you know, build outposts and gather resources to build more cool stuff? The team really puts all of those tools in the players' hands and step back and says, now it's time for you to tell the story of Starfield, which is your story, which is going to be different than mine, which is going to be different than everybody else's. And I think that's really where the magic of a Bethesda Game Studios game happens. Speaking about the scope of everything, Todd said that this is what an epic RPG is. What does Bethesda define an epic RPG as? I think, again, it's sort of leaning into, look, there's a lot of folks who take a lot of different approaches on
ezeket a kérdéseket mennyit gyakorolták, hogy mi legyen rá a válasz? Mert ez kicsit olyan marketing bullshit az egész.
Steal them and run out of it. You can create chaos. Like, we don't want to put too many limits on what the player is or isn't allowed to do. We love it when players say, I wonder what happens if, and then they try it. And then they get to see, like, oh my Lord, chaos ensued and it was insanity. Everybody was shooting at me. And like, that's, I think, the beauty of Bethesda Game Studios and the number of ways that they push for you to explore that, right? It's not just one, it's, you could spend thousands of hours doing nothing but shipbuilding and like focus that as all you're about, and that's okay. But you can also be about exploring
hajózás, vagy hajóépítgetés, az elég menő.
Or you could just play the main story and be like, I want to kind of experience that I'm guided through so that I kind of get to see stuff, and I might stop here and there. Oh, there's a cool side quest that I got, but you know, I want something that sort of leads me through, because I'm a little, you know, it can be a little daunting to say you can go do whatever I want. Like, ooh, I don't know what I should do. So some folks want a little bit of a guided path or to understand where the fun is, and no approach is wrong. Like, for me, that's epic, because it says we aren't putting any limits on what you can or can't do. We're going to set you loose and just sit back and watch.
Ezek annyira nagy szavak, hogy mi nem akarunk neked gátakat meg határt szabni, hogy mit tehetsz meg mit nem.
love that. And what you said about, those moments that maybe you experience that I don't, like those are some of the best moments if I think back to playing RPGs when I'm discussing with my friends. Oh, did you see that? No, I didn't see that. Where did you see it? And having them go out and find it. So I think that's going to be one of those things.
We talk about that a lot, that sort of water cooler moment.
Exactly.
Of like you come in the next day and you talk to everybody about what you did and you were like, wait, I did that quest, but I did this completely different thing. And you sort of start to appreciate all of the choices that you could have made.
Egyébként most amiről beszélgetnek, az gyakorlatilag minden open world, minden jól megírt open world játékra vonatkozik. Vagy mindegyikre igaz. Volt-e valami kedvemre való? Egyetlen egy bejelentés volt eddig. Ez sokkal inkább egy ilyen behind the scenes-es, beszélgetős, részletekbe kicsit belemenős, de még azért marketing bullshit vonalon maradó stream. A Valheim érkezni fog Xboxokra jövőre valamikor évelején.
If you look at a game like Skyrim, which everybody's played Skyrim at this point. It can, a combat is a big.
Everybody's played Skyrim at this point. Ó, micsoda nagy szavak. Micsoda nagy szavak. Hallod, Milu? Én welcome-olom, hogy jön Xboxra, mert azt írták rá, hogy konzol launch exclusive, ami nekem azt mondja, ez a szó összetétel, hogy később bizony PlayStation-okon is ott lesz. És ha bár ki van fizetve Steamre, szívesebben játszanék vele PS-en. Főleg, ha netán még crossplay is lesz. És azért a fingerjeimet erősen összekrosszolom. De nem az a lényeg, hogy elmegye vagy nem elmegye. Izzadok tőle, hogyha PC-n kell játszanom. Bántja a lelkemet, ha PC-n kell játszanom. It's just not my cup of tea.
Good at, what trade-offs are you willing to make or not. And then the other part of it is, of course, well, you can't just, it's a spaceship. Those aren't cheap. So you have to figure out, how am I going to do this? Where do I get the resources to build this stuff? What kind of, skills do I need to
Kibányászom a kavicsot az űrhajóhoz.
Beyond, what I could do without those skills. So there's a lot of, again, choices in terms of you get to decide that, how much you want to put into that or not. Do you just want to give somebody money for the parts that you want? Do you want to build it?
Majd megnézzük az embereket, akik 2 hetet farmolják a kavicsokat, hogy legyen egy űrhajójuk.
Just as you mentioned, the scope, the level of player agency, something that I feel like is going to just make Starfield such a special experience. So between Redfall, ESO, Fallout 76, and Starfield, you all are just killing the game.
Yeah, we got a few games coming out.
It's going to be so great. Pete, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, Pete. Now, coming up,
of course.
Around the world, including Squanch Games, Obsidian Entertainment, Playground Games, and of course, Xbox fans like you. But first, let's hear from the creators of one of the world's most popular
Xbox fans like you. Naraka. Erre mondták, hogy a világ egyik legnépszerűbb Battle Royale izéje. Szia, Sasa.
We are glad to share Naraka Bladepoint, a unique online multiplayer action game with players all around the globe. As a NetEase studio, 24 Entertainment is joining hands with Microsoft to bring Naraka Bladepoint to consoles for the first time. You could play the game on Xbox Series X and S, as well as Windows next week.
Ezt már láttad egy kicsit? Mármint?
Xbox Game Pass, a platform with a huge player base.
Ezt most élőben nézzük, Sasa.
Naraka has been so well
Vagy mire gondolsz?
on the PC platform. I am so grateful to the players for their love and support. As a competitive survival game incorporating a lot of action elements, Naraka features a range of characters with unique personalities. Each hero draws from different civilizations and cultures. Battles allow for a great degree of strategic play.
Ja, egyébként ez nem rossz koncept, csak valahogy abszolút hidegen hagy.
Vast map filled with interactive elements to explore. Perhaps you'll engage your foes in samurai combat, katanas at the ready, or maybe you use Persian assassin techniques.
Szia, katana vagyok, van még egy
With your grappling hook,
Pepsid.
you can fly between temple walls and across bamboo forests with ease.
Hú, bocsi, az Assassin's Creed-es izé nagyon,
You can also party up with
nagyon lenyúzta az agyamat.
group tactics to flatten your foes. That's Naraka's underlying design philosophy, that you're unchained and have the freedom to choose how you play. Collect soul jades to change how you play, transform your katana strikes, and make your cannon a weapon of mass destruction. Each hero can be customized too, whether you want to rush into battle as a berserker warrior
Hogy püfölött egyszerre hármat?
as a sorcerer. The choice is yours. We can't forget to mention our unique face customization system too. You'll never need to worry about running
Jézusom.
into a doppelganger on the battlefield, because you're able to edit your hero's features to your heart's content. You can even recreate your favorite faces.
Komolyan megcsinálják Phil
As
Spencert.
we approach Naraka's first launch anniversary,
Na ezt nevezem Xbox bemutatónak.
new weapon, the Twin Blades, releasing together with the Xbox and Game Pass editions. Twin Blades strike with the speed of a raging tempest and sweeping blows. We've seen similar weapons in other games.
Nem tudom egyébként milyen bitrate-en tolják ezt a streamet, de hogy amikor azon nagyon gyors mozgás van, ott azért elég erőteljesen. Látjátok? Ott vannak azok a megszámolható darabszámú pixelek.
Since its release, Naraka Bladepoint has launched its own faction clash game mode with Omni's Nightmare and the thrilling limited time mode Shadow Surge. There have been many casual modes to play as well, but our community has eagerly asked for a campaign mode. We're always listening to our player base, and we're happy to announce that the wait is over. Players will see the first chapter of
Ó,
the campaign
kampány.
mode, form teams of 3 to take on new enemy types and massive bosses. Disarming a boss won't be as easy as disarming another player though. PvP and campaign mode are two entirely different games.
Ez mondjuk jól néz ki ez a boss.
Further campaign chapters are also in the works, so we're eager to hear any feedback you have for us. We are also working on an Xbox One version and hope to see more players join Naraka later this year.
Wait.
Naraka is launching on
Na,
Xbox
jó, ezt akartam kérdezni.
and Windows
Series
Store
X, Series
on
S.
June 23rd, and it's included with Game Pass at launch day. Now's your chance to dive into the world of Naraka Bladepoint.
De amúgy ez teljes áru játék? Vagy vajon mennyibe kerül? Xbox Game Studios presents an Oxide Games production. Ja igen, a turn-based cucc. Ez most ugyanaz a trailer lemegy?
Lost to time. But what about the history that could have been if you were its architect?
Ez
How would you
egy az egyben ugyanaz a trailer.
What new stories would you tell? And when your people speak, would you listen?
Hát mondjuk meganimálhattak volna egy újat mára. Igen, arra ki sem bírom mondani, Milu.
History is filled with moments of greatness. But these will be yours.
Yay! Hát jó. Ezt most megnéztük még egyszer. Igen, Balázs, egy az egybe ugyanez a trailer ment le. De ez ilyen papagájos lesz?
And on behalf of the entire studio, we are really excited to be here and finally be able to talk about Ara.
I mean, we all are excited too. You just had the world premiere 2 days ago for Ara, and I have to say, I'm a really big
Az mi az a
history fan. I love
cipő a
history,
csajon?
so I've been looking forward forward to talking to you two about this. Now,
Ő egyenesen valami holland révből jött ide a fotelbe ülni. Mutassátok még egyszer a...
Oxide Games was founded 9.5 years ago in my basement, actually, from the
In my
development wing of
basement.
Civilization 5. And our goal is to push strategy games to the next level.
And what's really great about working on a
ott
new
van.
IP is that you don't have kind of these previous expectations that a sequel would have. And so the sky really was the limit, and we got to really take the genre to a new space.
Nem tudom szóról szóra fordítani szavasz, hiszen a figyelmem az abszolút a fejlesztő csajcipőjére összpontosul. Nem tudom ignorálni.
And I think that, like, if you're someone who really enjoys history, it's bringing like all of the worlds together,
Jesus
all
Christ.
the periods of time together, and that's a grand vision in itself. So, how does the vision of Ara impact the player experience within the game?
So one of the kind of big things we wanted to do with Ara was really explore how to make the game less about finding that optimal strategy, that
Egy
optimal
tök
path, and
szolidan...
really ways to
Jó,
make
most
it more meaningful
megint
to
egy
the player, make it easier to
hölgynek a
tell.
ruházkodásán
So what are different kinds of choices
beszélgettünk,
to bring
mint
to
múlt
the
hét
players that
csütörtökön,
you play
amikor a
play, and yet we can both be competitive
másik
together.
leány is furán öltözött föl, de ez meg,
Really
tehát
impact
nem tudom.
agency and expression and really let you express your values and your play styles through the
Na
different
mindegy.
mechanics in the product.
Megpróbálom elengedni.
And what about you? How does the vision impact the overall experience?
So one of the big things that we've been working on is what we call the living world. We wanted the expression of the game to manifest itself in a way that felt authentic and cool. So we've spent a lot of effort on making sure that the choices that you make are expressed in a visual way. And so you're going to see your citizens doing things that reflect the choices that you.
Egyébként ez nem néz ki rosszul. Kellemes kis ilyen civilization-ös meg... Nem. A cézárokat meg a fáraókat akartam még mondani, de azok ugye nem körökre osztottak voltak. Szavasz, mi baj van?
Because in history, the great thing about learning history is that you learn about culture, you learn about stories, you learn about things that are probably brand new to your eyes. But the way that Ara helps you remix, reimagine, and rewrite history is a beautiful sight to see. And I'm excited to get my hands on it, and I'm sure everyone else is who's watching. So let us know, where can we learn more about it, and when can we get our hands on it? Because I need it today.
So if you head over to the website, you can sign up for the Insider program, which will give you a chance to join the technical alpha and play the game later this summer, which is super exciting because we've been playing it, all the time, and so now you'll have a chance to play.
Dan, Michelle, thank you two so much for giving us the
nyáron bele lehet nézni.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Grounded is finally leaving early access and moving into full release with
Na, Momos nincs itt.
story mode. Here's Adam Brennicki and Eric Dorabella from Obsidian Entertainment to tell us more.
Obsidian. Momos nincs itt. Pont most.
What can players expect from the 1.0 launch?
Megint ugyanaz a trailer megy.
Of course, is going to be a complete game, and that means story, right? From beginning to end, you can play through.
Na re.
Why are you here?
Edzettél, Szabvex?
And how are you going to get home?
Nem, Szabvex, ez most ilyen beszélgetős, amik vasárnap voltak, azokról kicsit ilyen kifejtősebb egy-két stúdió, egy-két játékával kapcsolatban. Itt nem lesznek bemutatók, illetve hát volt egy, a Valheim, de szerintem lehet, hogy az annyiba is marad.
And seeing some of the cool things, like the first time we added the spider into the yard, seeing the reactions of people in the office, even jump scares, people screaming.
Ilyen pókok a izében is voltak. A Fallen Orderben.
The team is very small. It's the smallest team I've ever worked on at Obsidian. I wanted everyone to be able to participate on the design side of things, so I said everyone is a designer on the team.
De fura, hogy bal kézzel egerészik.
Our community and how we're building the game in game preview and early access.
That's probably one of the successes of the game is how close we work with the community and take all their feedback and suggestions. I think
Utáltad őket? Pedig egyébként elég jó enemy type volt, most a fóbiáktól eltekintve. Tök jót lehetett vele harcolni.
And all those adjustments just make
Mármint, hogy olyan kellően mocsok volt, és úgy lehetett vele küzdeni. Nem tudnál elva dolgozni, játszani? Meglepő egyébként, hogy az ember hogyan tud elhelyezkedni ahhoz, hogy kényelmesen érezze magát. Én még sose dolgoztam ilyen állóasztalnál, de kipróbálnám. Kipróbálnám. Hashtag lehet donételni asztalra.
So Adam, we have the Broodmother from last year. It was like our first big boss. And then we came out with a bunch of mini bosses like Termite King and the assistant manager.
Na, Momosz, itt vagy ám? Jól van.
The Mantis, what can they expect from this?
So we're super excited to finally show off the Mantis. I know that's been a big ask from players that they want to see a praying mantis.
Raki donate gólba. Nagyon régen nem volt már ki semmiféle, vagy nem volt már kint semmiféle donate gól. Legjobbkor igen, Momosz. Szerintem 4 percet beszélgettek, de az igazság az, hogy túl sok mindent nem mondtak el.
Super crazy. And then we hit the next milestone of 10 million players still being Xbox.
Doubling it, right?
Yeah, in Xbox Game Preview Early Access.
That just goes to show that we have a
10 millió játékosa van ennek. Az kemény, azt nem gondoltam volna.
Yeah. Like how much ground it has grown.
I just hope that players and the community understand how important they are and impactful on this game with us.
We're so thankful for everyone's support along the way. It's been an amazing journey, and we're finally almost at the finish line, right?
Tegnap már mindent is kielemeztél. Hát itt most arról beszélgetnek, hogy jaj, kis csapat csinálja, hogy nehéz dolguk van, bla bla bla. De jól nyomják.
Ever. Yeah.
Best community ever. Látod, Momosz, az vagy te. A 10 millióból az egy. Szeptember. Erről volt szó már vasárnap is, ugye? Microsoft Flight Simulator. Le akartam gyors venni, hogy megnézzétek, hogy hívják a bácsit. Nem tudom, ki ez. 13 ember? Az kemény, ezt nem is tudtam. Azt mondták, hogy kevesen vannak, de nem emlékszem, hogy azt is mondták volna, hogy mennyien pontosan.
Hey, Paris, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming to DC, man.
No, thank you. What am I doing here?
Later. Let's get in. We don't have much time.
Okay.
Ez most ilyen Top Gun-ra hajozó 80-as évek törpítás zene.
I'm sorry.
York, what is this place?
Oh, you'll see. Let's go.
Ó, ez valami repüléstörténeti múzeum? Mennyi cucc. Mennyi repzaj. Vét, azt fejjel lefele akasztottátok fel. Az komoly. National Air and Space Museum.
Thank you for having me.
Nice.
But this makes a lot of sense. I saw during the trailer there was a collaboration between the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum and Flight Simulator. Here we are at the National Air and Space Museum. So let's talk about that collaboration. Tell me more about that.
Well, Jorg and I have been talking for more than a year. He was looking for me and
neked a lépője tetszik? Nekem a szemüvege.
Don't you think that our organizations have a lot in common?
Tök vad.
Dedicated to bringing flight to everyone, and
I was looking for the Spirit of St. Louis, which is in the Smithsonian.
Sevahead.
1928, and the Smithsonian was gracious. They gave us a millimeter perfect scan.
Hülye vagy, ebből hol látsz ki? Ebből a repülőből. Vagy hol ülsz benne, vagy rajta, vagy alatta, vagy valahol.
And Microsoft celebrating its 40th anniversary. It's a match made in heaven, and there's lots of things we can do.
Yeah, authenticity, accuracy, access, it's all there.
A lépője is minimál? Na, majd mindjárt, ha mutatják messzebbről, megnézem. Érzésből megy. Ja, bocs. Mi folyik itt? Most van a második Xboxos stream, valami. Gondoltam, megnézzük akkor együtt élőben. Hashtag holnap reggel nincs stream.
Right. So keep your eyes peeled, stick together, and Jorg, I've got something special for you right around here.
Perfect.
Na, a lépőt. Check this out.
The Junkers U52 3-motor. Amazing.
And that is an awesome plane.
Sose látjuk már meg. Sose látjuk már meg.
Not all of them, but we hope a lot of them. In the 40th anniversary that comes out this fall, we already have 3. We have the Wright Flyer, the Spirit of St. Louis, and the DC-3. And we hope to get a few more. As Nick and I were talking, there's a lot of things we could do.
Yeah, we started with the most iconic ones, and who knows? There's no lack of opportunity.
Ez az férfiseggek.
I keep saying amazing because this place is amazing, and just like Flight Sim, it just keeps going. So what else is happening?
It does seem like we're going supersonic, like the Concorde here. We've been doing a major update ever since we launched, every month since August 2020. And just today, we're actually launching World Update 10. And guess what?
Tell me.
It's the United States.
Ez most Flight Simulátoros beszélgetősdé. Igen.
Brand new aerials, new missions, new airports, new everything. And as always, it's free. And check out this beauty. This is the Beechcraft Model 18. They call it the Twin Beach. It's a famous plane, and that's also launching.
Úgy nézel ki benne, mint én. Subvex. Nekem nincsen bomber jackim.
So Jorg, what can we expect the rest of the year from?
Na most, cipő, semmi.
So today is World Update 10. We have 2 more World Updates, one in August and one in October.
Semmi.
In November, we have the big 40th anniversary edition, which will be an absolute delight.
Szia Csaba!
Anyone who loves aviation.
Okay, that 40th anniversary edition. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so we're celebrating by bringing back some of the planes from the old sims, like from Flight Sim 10, 9, 8, even before that, and we're restoring some of the old missions, and we're bringing back
Nem tudtam ezeket sem az Overwatchról.
Celebration of the franchise.
So this celebration is not only of the franchise, but the past as well.
Mik voltak eddig? Hát egy darab bemutató volt, hogy jön a Valheim Xbox-ra konzol launch exkluzívként. Gondolom téged is a Forza érdekelne majd, az még nem volt, de majd még lesz. Flight Sim Grounded az ARA volt. Segítsetek. Segítsetek, mi volt még? Assassin's Creed nem volt.
Now, how do I get this?
A Starfieldről beszélgettek még az elején, meg a többi Bethesda bigyóról. Kb. Ennyi, nem?
Paris, thank you, Nick, for the great collaboration with the Smithsonian and for kicking off the 40th anniversary edition of Flight Sim.
Sose cipő.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Szavasz, a DLC-ről lesz a Forzás cucc.
Today was a good day, but now I have a need for speed.
Tessék.
I'm headed to the danger zone, baby.
To the danger zone, baby.
Estamos aquí para disfrutar del mejor día de mi vida, el día de la Xbox, que estoy muy emocionado.
Itt most mi történik?
I came in Madrid just yesterday to be here in FanFest Xbox, and I'm so excited.
Mit fújnak? Ne, hogy Xbox logókat fújnak rájuk. Jézus!
Why gaming? Just a passion. Es una experiencia única.
Just a passion. Egyébként poén lehet egy ilyen. Így nézni a bemutatókat.
Just the passion that people have. I feel very welcome.
Na, High on Life, erre vagyok kíváncsi.
Hey, we're just a snippet of Squanch Games, and we're here to talk about High on Life, our new action adventure
Ja, hogy ők voltak a cringe fiúk.
first person shooter that is nothing at all, a little bit like Microsoft Excel.
All right, you're a bounty hunter now. You gotta help me rescue my friends. They're Gatlians, just like me.
Lehet, hogy a fiúk ott az előbb a videón azok egy kicsit cringe-ek.
Let's dive in. So Justin, you're typically known for working in animation.
De a játék...
into the world of games. Why are you in the world of games?
Yeah. I'm obsessed with games. Have been my whole life.
De a játék...
Always had ideas, always had, things I would love to make, but just never thought I could ever step into that arena because I lack all the skills.
Egy átlagos amerikai informatikus egyetemista csapat. Nem gondolom, hogy túl messzire jársz. Hát ez a átlátszó szemüvegkeretes srác, ő az ilyen 70-es évekből ide szabadult. A tipik Silicon Valley arc. Mikor kelek holnap? Amikor felébredek, szóval azt nem lesz holnap stream. Reggel. A Trovert azt ugye végig toltam tavaly év végén. Emlékszel, Szalvasz, azt mondtad, hogy nagyon illett hozzám, és hogy szeretnél még olyanokat látni tőlem? Na majd ez.
But like this is like our AAA, or is it triple I for indie?
We're triple I.
Yeah. This is a triple I game.
So the story
triple I game.
Was like Earth being invaded by this evil.
Az tavaly év vége volt, bezony. Vagy idén év eleje?
And you're the one human who has to team up with a talking gun and stop.
I don't know.
And when you select a cartel leader that you're going to go
vagy a két ünnep között volt, karácsony meg szilveszter között, vagy rögtön év elején, nem tudom most hirtelen.
Can you tell us a little bit about the worlds of the game, the art style of the game, the visuals?
Elkezdi keresni a gépen, hogy melyik exet indítsa el.
Creating these awesome alien worlds. Myself and Mikey Spano, who is our art director, him and I worked like a ton on the sort of art direction of the game.
Oda van írva, hogy work in progress, de tök jól néz ki.
Blade Runner meets the Muppets.
Jézusom! Nézd a jobb oldalit.
And then each world is its own kind of unique flavor, right? I think some of the ideas came from very kind of core thoughts. Like we want to have an awesome alien, like drug-dense spa on an asteroid. And yeah, what makes me really excited
mekkora trippeket toltak ehhez? Hát, yes.
It's almost deceiving with simple narrative, right?
Save the Earth, humans or drugs, talking guns. Ta-da.
So Alec, who are the guns? What's their deal?
The guns are these talking alien Gatlians.
Ez nagyon állat, Szabex, nagyon állat.
Somewhat like a gun you'd find on Earth. But they've evolved to be just gun-like.
Amit most felsorolt 3 dolgot egymás után a csávó, és abból a 2 az, hogy hogy ugye az a játéknak az alapsztoria, hogy az embereket egy ilyen alien drogkártel rabolgatja elfele, és hogy konkrétan kábót, vagy kábóként tartják őket. És hogy fel kell szabadítani. Mi van a dobozban a csávó mögött? A kanapén? És egyébként nem csak az, hogy elmebetegnek néz ki, hanem nagyon jól néz ki a játék. Na, ott van, most mi van a kezében? Az mi az? Az, ami ücsi? Ja. Miért ült rá, majd nem?
Well, now I can. I love that stuff. I love like educating and like
what makes you remember.
Azt hittem valakinek a hamvai, vagy nem tudom.
And then you have an answer for them. That is like such a memorable and amazing moment. It's almost like watching TV, but the viewer is able to.
Termosz. Nem ők 3-an csinálták, csak ők ilyen líderek, gondolom.
So much fun to be had.
You can skip it all. We worked really hard on it. If you want to skip it.
Yeah, if you want to just like miss out on like,
Yeah, if you're like a big dummy and you don't want to play the game at all, that's fine.
Ezután játszok-e valamivel? Mármint most így este a stream után? Nem. Október. Console launch exkluzív. Gun. De hát... Jó, most bután nézek, mert gondolok valamire, de nem merem kimondani. Átment a nénin a fű. Az, a Texas Chainsaw. Jó. Nem tudtam róla eddig, hogy konzol exkluzív. Launch. Exkluzív. Jaj.
Is a narrative adventure game set in 16th century Bavaria, which is part of the Holy Roman Empire. You play a character named Andreas Mahler, who is an artist working at a Benedictine abbey. He gets involved in murders and scandals and tries to unravel them over a period of about 25 years. The name Pentiment, it is specifically referring to paintings in which there's an older painting underneath the painting that you see on the top. And if you scrape away the top layer, you see what was left behind. This has
Mágyes király. Ja.
Obviously, you're playing a painter, but also it has a lot of significance to the idea of history kind of being covered and uncovered over time.
Nézzétek már azt a kis dinót ott a csávó mögött majd, ha megint mutatják.
When I saw narrative-driven games with really distinctive art styles, I was inspired to make a historical game that focused on the unique art style of the early modern period that was really driven by the relationships between characters and the stories that played out over time. Hannah Kennedy was really integral to defining the art style of Pentiment, especially blending the late medieval illuminated manuscripts with the early modern woodcuts.
Micsoda puzzle-ök.
Points to solve and kind of marry between wanting this to be
Art director.
true to the history, true to the feel of the source material that we were.
Na, az biztos, hogy nagyon-nagyon-nagyon egyedi ez a játék egyébként.
But also thinking about the types of games that were like what we imagined we wanted as far as a gameplay experience.
Szia, Sasa. Welcome back. Úristen, nézzétek már azt a laptopot, mennyire durván néz ki. Jézusom. Mi van rajzoltátok? Lol. Azt egyébként valahogy gondoltam, Momosz, hogy ez téged érdekel. Nem azt mondom, hogy neked való, de hogy valahogy olyan, hogy így pont. Jó, mondjuk Obsidian.
The 16th century has always been really interesting to me because it was a time of such social upheaval in Europe.
Amen. Mindenki azt mondta amen.
When we look at social change in the past, it seems like it's a thing that always happens outside of our time.
Vicces, hogy kicsit olyan, mintha ilyen, Na ott a dino, nézzétek.
Social change is happening constantly, and people are always struggling with it. It's always a difficult process. And so I hope that by looking at people from the past, we can see that.
Szóval kicsit olyan, mint hogy így, nem is tudom, egy ilyen valami flash játék lenne.
Ultimately, we always struggle with social change.
November 2022. Nem beszólni akartam, abszolút, Momosz, véletlen sem. Na ez nekem nagyon furi. Ez az animáció. Végre meglátom, hogy működik benne a co-op. Az animáció miatt furi. Igen. A karakteranimáció. Mert nézd meg, minden mozog rendesen, csak a karakterek laggolnak, vagy hogy mondjam, tudod.
I took my inspiration from TV shows, prestige shows like, Breaking Bad, Fargo. I really love Dog Day Afternoon.
Ezek nagy szavak, hogy honnan vette az inspirációt. Breaking Bad, meg Fargo, meg a többi. Nagz, hey ho, köszönöm szépen a raid. Sziasztok fiúk, lányok, Nagz-tól. Ha van köztetek magyarul beszélő is. Jó lesz ez az artistic approach, csak még szokni kell. De ahogy Bencsó is írja, nekem is ilyen lazy ass animátor utánérzésem van ettől. Jó, akkor csináljunk csak tévémaci szintű mozgásokat. Érted? Lehet, hogy nem így van, de na.
Mainly structured around a hostage situation in a motel in the middle of the desert in Arizona, so it's a pressure cooker.
You want your wife to live? Answer and do exactly what I say.
Book 2 takes another
low budget Telltale curry. Amit a Microsoft ennyire nyom, az nem hiszem, hogy low budget.
As Dust Falls is an interactive show, but the important part here is the word interactive. The players are very much needed to help the character on their journey and decide what's going to happen.
Nézzétek meg, mi van a játékosok kezeiben. Wait. Nem mindenkinél kontroller volt. Nem Bencsó, nem. Nézd meg, hogy nála telefon van. Az innensőnél, meg a második innen. Telefon van kettejüknél.
I think for me, one of the really important things was that this art style could tell lots of different types of
PSS-ek.
We want to take really
PSS-ek, emlékeztek a telefonnal irányítható PlayStation játékokra? Hogy hívták azokat, te jó ég? Ilyen party játékok voltak a legtöbbjük. Nem volt pénz konzolra. De látod, nem kell, meseli a telefonját.
But this game really taps into your life skills rather than your gamer skills, puts everyone on a level playing field. You did well there.
Fel kellett hívni valakit ellen, hogy vegye PS-t.
You share the same character.
This is it.
You make decisions.
Nem.
Majority wins. It's like each player is like a voice in the character head. Are you taking the money this time? I'm definitely not.
Ugye az úgy működött, hogy csináltál a konzolból, azok PS4-ek voltak még akkor, ugye? Hotspotot, és a telóval arra csatlakoztál fel. Ez milyen Stranger Things-es már? Playlink, azaz, köszönöm. Playlink, az volt.
Let's check out what mysteries, adventures, and, of course, slimes are waiting for us in the new vibrant
Nekem abból tudod, melyik tetszett? Szavasz. Fú, egy ilyen krimi sztori volt. És nem jut eszembe a címe. Igen, az volt az momosz. Hogy merre menjen a sztori. Hidden Agenda volt, nem Secret, Hidden. Köszönöm, Csaba. Hidden Agenda volt. Az kicsit hajazott egyébként az Until Dawn-os ilyen választható kimenetelű dolgokra. De volt, amikor 10 perc alatt végig lehetett játszani. Mert véletlen mindenkit megöltél. És szerintem alapvetően jó kis koncept volt ilyen idézőjelbe parti játéknak. Mert voltak kimondott parti játékok is egyébként. Kár, hogy elhalt a Sony részéről. És nem tudom, vágjátok-e, a Hidden Agenda az még ezért is kapott magyar szinkront konkrétan. Igaz, hogy pocsék volt, mert így nem voltak rendesen szótagszámra megírva a szövegek, és volt, amikor konkrétan föl volt gyorsítva a szinkron színészek által felvett szöveg, hogy hosszban megegyezzen az angol szövegekkel, és borzasztó volt. De volt egy magyar szinkronos játék PS-en. Komikus. Hát most mindegy, milyen szitokszóval illetjük. Gagyi volt, nagyon gagyi volt szerintem. Tehát nem voltak rendesen megírva a szövegek, csak úgy le volt fordítva, de nem figyeltek oda a rendes szinkron szövegekre, hogy itt azért elég sok kritériumnak meg kellene felelni, meg szájra illeszgetni, meg ilyenek, tehát az abszolút nem volt. Ez megy YouTube-ra? Valószínűleg. Na mindegy, most Xboxozunk, nem PS nosztalgia. Slime Rancher 2. Ősszel. Erről is lesz most valami? Beszélgetési, vagy ez csak egy darab trailer?
Time to get going. First trip in a while. Put this in here. Australia. Passport. I need a passport. Where's my passport? Passport.
Tessék? A felfújható kengurúval mi a terv? Így.
Let's go.
Na, a Rick és Mortis játékos ráncokra mondtuk, hogy cringe. Visszaszívom. Sasa? Jó, a spanyolos összefoglaló az egy fokkal azért menőbb volt, mint ez a Melbourne-i Cringe Fest. Wow. Na szavasz. Eljött a te időd.
Excited to tell you all about Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels, the first expansion for Forza Horizon 5. So Mike, let's start with why the team decided to bring Hot Wheels to Forza Horizon 5's Mexico.
Our fans have been telling us for years about how much they loved Forza Horizon 3's Hot Wheels expansion. So we've been waiting for the right time to bring everyone another Hot Wheels adventure.
Követéskezelő, az mi az? Ja, követeléskezelő. Jaj. Nem tudok olvasni már.
It really does sound like the perfect time for Forza Horizon and Hot Wheels. So I'm wondering if you can tell us a little bit more about what to expect being in the clouds of Mexico this time.
Yes, you travel to the clouds above Mexico to visit the Hot Wheels Park, which is comprised of over 200 kilometers of the fastest, most extreme tracks yet. Once there, you'll join the Hot Wheels.
Egyébként én itt kajak félnék menni.
Forza Horizon's most extreme racing yet.
Hát milyen magasan nyomják már?
Let's go.
As well as the iconic orange Hot Wheels track, you'll take on new driving experience.
Én már nem merek a hölgyeknek a külsejére megjegyzéseket tenni, mert már mindig az lesz, hogy állandóan ilyen nőgyűlölő szövegeket tolok, hogy néznek ki, de Nyilván nekem is szemet szúrt a hajszíne. Az a repülőgép miért van ott?
We have the rugged Giants Canyon, where you'll hear the growl of your engine bouncing back off the intricately detailed rock formations. The Ice Cauldron, where frozen tundra drips into the glistening molten lava. In Forest Falls, you'll see a tree canopy towering over epic waterfalls. And finally, the visually stunning and exhilarating Horizon Nexus, where the Horizon Festival is suspended
Horizon Nexus.
Hot Wheels tracks. And there's more, because new players can jump into Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels as early as possible during the main game's initial experience.
And how are people going to be able to use Event Lab in Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels?
So in Event Lab, you'll have the freedom to design, build and share using the new Hot Wheels Creation Kit. That's over 80 new track and stunt pieces that instantly snap together thanks to our new building tools.
Oh.
You can then share your creations with the
Pályakreáló cucc.
for players to discover and play. We are anticipating our community building an ever-evolving catalogue of new player-created Hot Wheels events that everyone
Ez mondjuk zsírlézer.
They all sound absolutely incredible, Mike, but I'm going to ask you the most important question in the room. Can you tell me a bit more about the cars?
Cső, Ádám.
So we have 10 new amazing cars coming to the pack, including 4 new Hot Wheels.
Jaj, Ádám, pont jókor vagy.
To real-life proportions, we have the Diora 2, the Bad to the Blade, the Baja Bone Shaker, and the Chevrolet Hot Wheels Copo Camaro. Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels
4 autót mondott el, jól számoltam.
So we've added some new extreme track toys and hypercars to go with them. I want to call out the Hennessy Venom F5 and the Mosler MT900 GT3. Their speed is unlike anything we've seen before.
So we know Forza Horizon 5 fans naturally love co-op, so how is that continuing in Hot Wheels?
GTA-ban fizettek.
In a first for Forza, you can join up with
Ja,
your
nem,
friends
jó, én meg vagy szavasz, jó.
of the experience in co-op. You and your friends will then take on a new campaign, moving your way up through faster and faster.
Ja, de igazából, Milu, én megértem Szalvaszt, hogy most sipítozik emiatt, hogy semmi új ötlet nincsen, mert ezt ugye előtték a harmadik Forzában, ugye? Forza Horizonban?
Ooh, I absolutely love that. Final question now, though. When can we expect to play?
Yes, so Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels releases on July 19th on Xbox Series X and S,
Július
Xbox One,
19.
Windows PC and Steam.
Mike, thank you so much for joining me. This has been so much fun, and I cannot wait to play.
Július 19 az egyébként Stray megjelenési dátum, csak mondom. Babok. Babok. De nem is az, hogy spanyol viaszt várnánk egy játéktól, hanem hogy azért mit tudom én, érted, van a Hot Wheels, amivel autózni lehet, ami játék, vannak a Legók, ami szintén volt DLC-ként, valami más játékgyártó céget is megtalálhatnának. Mit tudom én, G.I. Joe-s terepjárókat, vagy nem tudom, most csak valami hülyeséget mondok. Tehát ebben teljesen az egy Halo-s izé volt? Bab. Szóval ebben én igazat adok Szalvasznak egyébként. Ja, puzzle-t kirakni például. Vagy ilyen Monopoly pályákon menni, körbe-körbe. Az bizony Halo-s. Master Chief-es. Az egy komoly szkinek. Jaj. És elvette tőlük a koronát. A mocskos. Spártai Showdown. Na várjatok. Így jobban látszik.
Now onto our next block, pun intended of course. Minecraft Legends is the action strategy take on the franchise you never knew you needed. I'm here with Dennis Rees from Mojang Studios, who has just released the world premiere trailer of Minecraft Legends. Dennis, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Malik.
So happy to have you. I mean, this is a really exciting
Vagy most, ha már írott Szalvasz a Microsoftos teamet, miért nem lehetett akkor például a, nem tudom, hogy hívják, a Master Chiefnek a terepjáróját például berakni? Ahogy a Microsoft Flight Simulatorban ott van a repzaj, most tudom, hogy hívják hirtelen, akkor érted. Jó, a Blizzard is megérne egy misét, Milu, persze. Bent van már a 4 óta? Akkor nem szóltam. Warhawk, tényleg az. Jó, akkor... Elnézést, ekkora forzás vagyok, látjátok, PSS-ként.
In doing so, we were able to create an experience that is welcoming for people who may have not played Minecraft, but also people who have. And I mean, you've seen the trailer. It's about going and traveling through these beautiful biomes, exploring this world that is familiar yet still mysterious. And so as you explore biomes, you collect
ez ilyen húsvéti játék?
and you use those resources to build defenses from these dangerous but very cute piglins. And in those offensive you're able to
Jó, akkor elérhető az 5-be is. Mindegy, most igazából csak a hasamra ütöttem és mondtam valamit, amit ilyen crossovert el tudnék képzelni a Microsoft IP-k között.
I'm looking forward to it, and I love what you said about trying to make a game that's both for fans of Minecraft that exist and new fans coming in. Minecraft can go in so many different directions, I feel like, with a new game. What made you choose action strategy?
Well, really, it was many years ago, as a group of
action strategy
sitting around talking about what game genres they really enjoy, and action and strategy were the more popular ones that came up, and so we started to think about who we.
Vin Diesel collab, igen. Kivenni az Arkból Vin Dieselt és betenni a Forzába az egyik autóülésére. Hogyne.
And an interesting little fact for many of those people that might follow Minecraft.
Megértelek, Momosz. Megértelek. Nekem az a bajom az ilyen indie izékkel, hogy tengernyi darab van belőlük, és nagyon-nagyon-nagyon nehéz kiszűrni belőlük az igazán jókat. Túl sok indie cucc van, és egy lusta disznó vagyok, állandóan mindig keresgélni.
It's from Mojang specifically. Like you mentioned Minecraft Dungeons. That's a great example where Mojang went out and we built this dungeon crawler experience in the Minecraft universe, and players love it. It's wonderful.
Van egy-két olyan kiadó egyébként, mit tudom én, a Devolver például, vagy az Annapurna Interactive, akiket úgy figyelemmel kísérek, és elég jó cuccok jönnek ki tőlük, de hogy az összeset nem tudom, nincs időm, energiám, kedvem, az is biztos.
Tell us when the game is coming out and where we can keep up to date.
It's coming out in 2023 on PC and console on Xbox Game Pass. And if you want to know more, just follow us Twitter or jump on Minecraft.net.
Dennis, I'm so excited to jump into Minecraft Legends. Thank you so much for stopping by and giving us the lowdown.
Thanks for having me.
Az egy életnagyságú Warhawk, ugye? Jól emlékszem a nevére? Funfest, igen, ahol a ventilátorok ünnepelnek. Úgy van, Bencsó. Ezen nevetsz, ugye? Fiú. Szép időn kijelzők vannak. Oh. Funk. $890 forintos Amazon dolog, az head. Az a Prime. Amazon Prime cucc. Mi a kérdés? Azzal kapcsolatban. Na, megint Silksong, és megint nem lesz dátum. És ez mit tud? Vagy mit ad? Az első és legfontosabb az, hogy kapsz egy darab Prime előfizut itt a Twitch-en, tehát, hogy valakire azt ellőheted minden hónapban. Akár más valakire is minden hónapban. ami már eleve a 4 euró helyett, amit ugye egy Twitch szabra alapból kifizet egy néző, 890 forint. Ez szerintem nagyon fontos. Úristen, mennyi indie cucc van itt is, nézd csak, Momosz. De például ez nekem nem tetszik. Poggers. Prime Gaming-es loot, ahol minden hónapban legalább 4-5 játékot adnak az előfizuhoz ingyen. És egy csomó in-game cucc is van. Tehát, hogy mit tudom én, Destiny-ben fegyverek, blueprintek a Warzone-ban, lolos, Warframe-es, rengeteg játékban, plusz ilyen kreditek, meg mit tudom én micsodák. És még a Prime videós cuccokat is tudod nézni. Kihagytam valamit? Ó, szóval lesz egy ID?
The gaming ecosystem organization here at Xbox. Sarah, it's so great to have you.
It is awesome to be here and so good to see you too.
Yes, I'm super excited for this conversation because as we know, game creators are crucial to Xbox's success, and whenever you talk about them, it's with such like passion and tenacity.
Szóval szerintem nagyon megéri ez a Prime-os cucc, mert gyakorlatilag
how do creators inspire the work that you and your team do?
The creators are just the bedrock of everything we do.
Tudod, hogy hol szoktam előfizetni rá? A Prime videón konkrétan. A Prime videón, és beletartozik az egész cucc.
Put into a game that we all get to experience and enjoy. And that's really the bedrock of our industry, of what motivates us, is to help those people, those developers, bring their stories out. And we think about it in three ways. You know, how do we create a vibrant and engaging gamer community for them to come to through Xbox? What are the set of tools and services that we give them that make it easier and faster and more affordable for them to make
899.
And how do we create a range of business models that they can use? Because a business model
Szerintem nekem 8,90-et szokott levonni. De legyen, most azon a 9 forinton nem veszünk össze nyilván. Szűk 900, akkor fogalmazzunk így. És akkor egyikünk se hazudik.
The players themselves as well. Yeah. For example, you and your team just announced a new feature that's going to bring game demos to players. Can you tell us a little bit more about Project Moorcroft?
Project Moorcroft. I know. I love these project names. I wish they would just let me name it, but they won't. I know.
Project micsoda?
Well, look, we were sitting around as a team and we were thinking about some of the things that we've always loved the most about the gaming industry. And one of them was, remember when you would go to like a show like PAX or E3, and you would go to the show floor and you get to play a demo or a piece of a game, and the developer would be right there next to you, talking to you about their experience, asking you to try asking your feedback. And that was one of the things I loved the most about those experiences. We just don't have them as much anymore, you know, in the way that the world has evolved. And so we thought, gosh, how can we make Game Pass like that? Like, how can we use the power of Game Pass and all of the great discovery and player engagement that is in it and have it create for creators that opportunity to engage with fans early as they're creating their game and also for players
nem fogják újra elismételni.
Something that they're really anticipating. And so that's what we're going to do. We're actually going to have a program that enables developers to take a piece, a level of their game, and put it into Game Pass so that they can get that great feedback and players can engage with them. And we know it's a lot of work sometimes for developers to do that, so we're also going to compensate them for their participation in the program. I'm so excited for what's going to come when we launch that.
I think the one thing that we all miss is that connection, right? And now that we are able to come back into conferences and stuff like that, we still need to deepen it because by deepening that connection, you're diversifying the voices, and then that in return helps to diversify the games and bring diversity into games.
Completely.
So how will Microsoft help to further that front?
Yeah, we think about it all the time, frankly, as Microsoft, as Xbox, in my team in particular, because creators is core to everything we do. You know, if you think about a game, it enables you to experience a perspective, a point of view, in a way that is deep and immersive, unlike any other form of media. So the importance of everyone having an equal opportunity to share their story
30 millió.
And what it means to shaping our perceptions, to what we talk about, to what we believe.
A Sea of Thieves-el 30 millióan játszanak?
It's critical, and we think about that all the time. So
Vagy ez a 30 millió az olyan, mint hogy én kipróbáltam 2-szer árpival, az csá.
And the other thing that we did this year is for the first time ever, we actually have a presence in Africa. We have our first Xbox employee in Africa, specifically dedicated to working with creators in the region.
So what message would you like to leave for creators who are interested in starting in the industry?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. People say to me, gosh,
30 millió regisztrált.
part of the gaming industry. I'd love to make a game. How do I break through?
Tehát, hogy
How do I get involved?
ever
I say, first of all,
annyian játszottak vele.
talk to people, meet people, connect with people, just how you and I connected actually.
Azt simán el tudom képzelni.
You know, build that network and that connectivity because it's so.
De azt kötve hiszem, hogy egy Sea of Thieves-el aktívan 30 millió játékos tolja.
Industry conferences like GDC, meet people, learn, try that out. And if you're interested in making a game for Xbox, you can actually go to GitHub.com. You can actually download the Xbox Game Developer Kit and get started. And once you have a game concept, you can also submit it online through id@xbox.com, and then you can self-publish to Xbox, which is another great way. And of course, if you actually want to get involved in the industry, all companies are great, but I highly recommend you check out coming to work at Xbox. I'm biased, obviously.
I mean, hey, you have every
Ez most egy álláshirdetés volt?
Thank you so much for joining us today. And also, thank you to all the viewers for tuning into Extended. We've heard from so many amazing developers on today's show. Now, before we finish, is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
One more thing.
We were talking earlier about the importance of people being able to tell their story through a game and how incredibly powerful it is. I mean, when we were talking about that, I was thinking about an experience we've had as a team that's been very touching for me.
Na, erre kíváncsi leszek most, mit lőnek még az utolsó pár percre.
Extending the depth and breadth of content that we have in the Xbox ecosystem. And it was through that I got to know the team making Stalker 2 really well. And I actually got to intro that game last year in the Xbox Game Showcase, and it was just incredible. And you know, the thing was, when I was looking at that game last year, and I was looking at the story that they were telling, and they were talking about the beauty of the land and their dedication to their culture and their country, and I thought, wow, this is a cool game. This is a compelling story. But sitting here today, you know, recognizing that that team is Ukrainian, they were based in Kiev, looking at that story and what they were showing to the world just feels entirely different and far more poignant and visceral to me. You know, this is a team who's talking about their culture, talking about fighting for the existence of being a nation, of being a people, of having their own language. And now we all, as a world, have gotten to see how tenuous that, in fact, is. And it's an honor, frankly, to be part of this industry and to have the opportunity to uplift their voices and to let their story be told through a gaming experience.
Mondjuk az érdekes, hogy ezeket így most belekeverik.
And as part of that, they actually shared with us something that they wanted us to share with all of you today as part of the show.
Na de. Mutatnak a Stalkerből. Az viszont kemény. Ja, de ez is ilyen behind the scenes-es cucc. Aha. Jaj, nem, ez az a videó, ami fönn van tőlük.
Здесь кипела работа, идеи, она не останавливалась. 3 месяца назад началась война России с Украиной.
Шок-код, рабочий день начинается с тревоги.
Сейчас сильных обстрілів, ми біжимо в укриття.
Цицукát láttátok?
Це переноска для мого кота, який загинув ще в перший тиждень війни. Выходишь вечером, сирена, выходишь днем, сирена. Днем еще работать надо, поэтому особо не выйдешь, а вечером все время вот так.
Це моє робоче місце.
Вже третій місяць я живу і працюю в коридорі. Зі мною живе одноокий пес, врятований з-під обстрілу в Гостомелі. Зараз мені важко писати квести про війну, коли вона йде навколо.
Так работает в перерывах между сиренами і волонтерськими задачами.
Світ ще побачить, наскільки в нас класна культура і в тому числі наскільки класні ігри ми можемо робити.
Меня зовут Александр. Я являюсь сотрудником компании ЖСК. Я с Мариуполя. С начала боевых действий была потеряна связь с моими родными и близкими. И это непередаваемое ужасное чувство, когда ты не знаешь, живы они или нет.
Я Дмитро Ясенєв, розробник Сталкера. Ніколи не міг уявити, що в 21 столітті в центрі Європи може статися повномасштабна війна.
Az kemény lehet. Mesterséges intelligencia fejlesztőként.
Привіт, я Макс, наративний дизайнер.
Egy olyan LMG-vel.
Після перемоги я до неї повернуся. Побачимось на релізі. Слава Україні!
Hogy az emberiség nem lépett túl olyan dolgokon, mint a háború. Pénz beszél, mamasz. Ennyit tudok mondani. Sajnos. The beginning of Stalker 2. Oh. Azt hittem megállunk ennél a videónál.
Last question, Dr. Dallin. Are you sure the perimeter surrounding the zone is really enough? If a powerful emission were to occur, we would...
Listen, the zone has remained stable for years. Besides, we didn't establish the most advanced institution in human history without first guaranteeing its safety.
Visszatérve egy pillanatra az előző gondolatra, Mamos, amíg az olaj, a dohányáru, az alkohol, a fegyverlobbi, meg még sorolhatnánk az összes többit is. Utópiák korán éljük a játékok tekintetében. Hát igen, igen. Majd jöhet a Ready Player One-os VR világ. Rosszul emlékszem, hogy az Unreal Engine? Vagy keverem ne szórakozz már, hogy az ülésen viszi az egy robbanó tölt. Tehát... És be se kötötte. Oh shit, az felébred. Az ott nem néz ki jól. Heart of Chernobyl. Én nem olvastam. Ezek lábnyomok? Vagy ott lőnek? Vagy ott mi történik? ...2023. Abszolút nem bántásiból, de ezt most így konkrétan kimerik írni, hogy 2023-ban már jönni is tud. Szó se róla, örülünk neki. Csak izé. Na srácok, thanks for watching. Én is ezt tudom mondani, úgyhogy köszönöm szépen, hogyha idáig kitartottatok, kedves YouTube-osok ti is, meg mindenki más itt az élő streamen is. Úgyhogy... mivel fogunk legközelebb találkozni? A héten még lesz valami bemutató, ha jól emlékszem. De az aranyhal memóriám nem engedi, hogy emlékezzek rá, úgyhogy Csak annyit tudok mondani, hogy ezeket ugye élőben veszem fel a Twitch-en, úgyhogy gyere és csatlakozz hozzánk majd itt is, mert nagyon-nagyon-nagyon szívesen látunk itt, látod, pörög alatt a meccset, úgyhogy nyomjuk ezzel az dolgokat. Srácok, nagyon köszi még egyszer, hogy itt voltatok, és akkor találkozunk a következő videóban is. Sziasztok!